Hello everyone, welcome to Mark's Grand Valley Plus. In the last week or so, I got a request from someone, and I thought it was a good idea, to take a train, take a train from my yard area, which you see here, out onto the main. Something I realized I hadn't really shown in the video yet. I just showed the train going around the loop area, but never really going through the yard, etc. So I thought that was an excellent idea. So just giving you a quick overview of my yard area here, and then how it turns through this module, goes through here, and then out onto the main on the top up there, and of course comes off the main into the yard area through this little turnout on the bottom that you see. But before I go and get into that, I want to talk a little bit about something that I did in the past week that may be of interest. I don't know, not something I suggest everybody do, but thought I'd show you what I did here. First of all, I did go and find some more of my old rolling stock from my layout from 30-something years ago, and I went through and replaced the plastic wheels, put metal wheels on those, took off the old-fashioned horn hook type couplers and put the newer Katie couplers on there. Sometimes I needed the long ones, sometimes the regular ones were just fine, sometimes I needed them offset in order to get them at the right height. But I don't know, I got another 10 cars done, I think, and 3 more cabooses, which you see here. So that's one thing I wanted to point out. But I wanted to point out something here. This is new. This turnout right here, this is new. Before, all I had here coming off of this passing siding up here, I had this turnout, but then here there was just an 18 inch radius turn here. That's all there was. And because I did the work and got more cars ready, I thought, Jesus, where am I going to put these, right? So I saw this empty space here, and I thought, well, what if I just put some straight track here, which you see all the way back here. So I looked at this, and let me pull this out, and I had some turnouts left over, and I laid the turnout on top, and I was like, hey, that would work. But you can see the turnout ends right here, and the turn ends here. It would have mean I would have had to go and rip this and all of this out and shove it up 1.5 inches, would mean drilling new holes through, because remember, I have drops through here from each of these 3 tracks you're seeing here that are for my blocks. And I was like, oh, I don't want to really do all that. Let me think about this. So again, I was looking at this, and I'm like, you know, as you see, that's all there was here. There was just this turn. And I wanted to put in a turnout. So I took a piece of loose turn, laid it on top, and noticed that it ended straight out, 1.5 inches. So I marked where this ended, flipped it over, and noticed that I had just enough room to make that cut and not interfere with any of the mechanics underneath. So that's exactly what I did. I made the cut. I made the lines. I took the piece of turnout over to my miter box, put a really fine blade into a hacksaw, and slowly cut off that end. And then came over here, pulled some of this up, and fit that in. I did ruin a tie here, but I can always come back and glue something in there. I've got some extra stuff laying around, you know, to make that look natural again. And then because the connections were gone from this, the Bachmann connections were gone from under this, I glued this down really good onto my layout, and then I went in there and I soldered the joints, as well as had the rail joiners in there, but I also soldered that and on top and on the outsides, and then just filed it down. So that allowed me to then lay this additional track out over here and park some more cars. Tested it out. I had to play with it some, but seems to be working okay. Figure it's not the end of the world, you know. It's not on the main. It's not like something's going to be constantly running across that. And a lot of times when I'm going through turnouts and stuff, I usually go kind of slow anyway. So what the heck? I thought it was worth a shot, and it seems to have worked. All right, so here's our attempt at trying to put together a small batch of rolling stock using Burlington Northern 566. We're going to pull out of there, come over here, pick up these 4 cars here, minus the caboose, no caboose, bring these over, and put them in the front of this, 4 tankers and a caboose, and pull them out for pickup by the BC Rail Loco. I attempted to do this yesterday, putting this on a tripod, and it looked terrible. So I'm reshooting this today. I'm sorry if it's going to look a little herky-jerky, but at least you'll be able to see better what was going on. What I did yesterday, you could hardly see what was happening. So here we go. Recalling 566. And pull her out. Gonna come around. And go past this turnout. We're going to flip the switch here. Put her in reverse. You have to push. Increase, not decelerate. Right, stop, change direction, flip the switch, let's go pick these cars up. I mean, I did this a couple of times. Ran into a few problems here and there, but regardless, it was fun. Alright, stop. Change direction. pull them out. Alright, so the idea here is I'm pulling them off of this siding. We're going to just go past that new modified turnout that I threw in there and push these cars onto the passing siding. Alright, we're past that, so we're going to stop, switch direction, throw the switch again, and we're going to put these cars on the passing siding. We're going to drop these off the passing siding, and we're going to unhook the little tender here, yard tender, from it, and approach from the other side, from here, so we can push these back. So I can push these back to hook up with the other cars. Okay, we've passed the turnout, which is good. Flip the switch again. Reverse. Pull these back a little way, so I'm on a straight track to make the connection. Alright, let's pause. Alright, put it on pause there while I decoupled the loco from the cars. Now what we'll do is continue over here and throw this switch here so I can put it out on the main. Go past that turnout, switch directions. So now I'm sort of on the main, sub-main, whatever you want to call it. Come around. Gotta slow down here. We've got a loco on the main here, because we're going to have to go out there a little bit. Just cross slowly, wait for this train to pass. Alright, it's passed. Pull out here a little bit. Stop. Alright, now I'll throw it in reverse. Come down into the passing siding. Lash up this set of cars here. To mash up with this set over here, we're going to make sure our switch is thrown properly, which it is. said, sorry for the herky-jerkiness of this, but it's the best I can do. Alright. Let's change direction. We'll pull this mashup of cars here out onto the passing siding, just past the turnout over there. All right, I will stop. Okay, uncouple the loco and pull it out. And in the meantime, what you're going to see here now is the BC rail turning out of the main layout onto the main going into the yard. And what I'm going to do with the little tender is back that up onto this short section over here and have it sit and wait. So what I'm going to do is park the BC rail onto the main next to the passing siding, where I will unhook that locomotive, decouple that locomotive, and have it come onto the passing siding and pick up this mashup that we just did over here. Here comes our BC, was going kind of slow. Just going to have it sit there, out of the way. Alright, fast forward here a little bit. Take the BC rail, uncoupled from this other fleet of cars. Have it back up here. Pick up the mashup that we just made. Change direction. I'll slowly pull it out. Hopefully, these all run well. Like I said, a lot of these cars I just, it's almost like their first run here. All right, now that that's out, let's quickly move 566 forward. Reverse. Back her up. Pick up what the BC rail left. In the meantime, you can see that she's pulling. And over here, we're pushing back. Alrighty then, so I paused that so you didn't have to watch that going all the way back. Now I change the direction. We're going to move it forward, and we're going to pull the fleet of cars that the BC rail was handling onto the passing siding and park that for now, and we'll deal with that later. So as you can see, pulling through. It's coming around. We're going to clear the and we're going to stop. Now as you can see, the BC rail is pulling around a fleet of cars that we put together in the yard and transferred over. It's been running for a few minutes here. So it looks like the cars that I refurbished from way back when are doing well, which is a good sign. It gives me more to explore and play with going forward. Now what I think I'm going to do, and I'm not going to record the whole thing, is I'm going to pull the fleet of cars that these two BNSF locomotives are dealing with. I'm going to pull them off of the Grand Valley layout and pull the BC rail into the Grand Valley layout and see how it does in there. Thanks. Alright, successfully pulled the two BNSF locomotives with their fleet of cars off of the Grand Valley portion of my layout. Brought the BC rail and its fleet of cars that we picked up a little while ago onto the Grand Valley layout. So I've already actually gone around a couple of times just to make sure everything was okay. Everything appears to be running smoothly again. Good news that all those cars that I converted are successfully running, which gives me a good bunch of rolling stock that I can use to play with in the future, and make consists up as large as I want, which stock that should be successfully running. So all in all, I'm really happy with this experiment. I know it went a little longer than I thought, but it's what a few people asked for. Hope you're satisfied with it. Okay. One last look. We've got everything successfully running. back on the entire layout. Couldn't be happier that this experiment worked out. Thanks for the suggestion. Learned some things about my rolling stock. But the good news is, things are running successfully. Till next time, happy modeling, everybody.